Two things real quick. I'm gonna go to you, Ice. Mike McCarthy seems like if he loses this game, they're talking about trying to get him out of there. But Jerry Jones is not saying that. But which teams, if you were a head coach, would you consider that you would want this job? And which team did you say, you know what, I don't want no parts of this?
Probably Indianapolis, man. Because, with Irsay over there, not wanting it. Because I'm sitting there going like, you got a decent running back in Jonathan Taylor, but you don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if I want that, even though the fans will love you. Probably the one of the jobs I definitely want, y'all might not believe this, but I think I would want Arizona. I think I want Arizona because I think the little dude over here, he just needed somebody to grab him by his neck that's not afraid of him and tighten him up. Also, too, you have to make better decisions so he has people that he can really get the ball to. We ain't gonna talk about Mr. Green, but you need to have some people he can throw the ball.
Reference to 2 years ago.
Yeah. We he needs to have some people he can throw the ball to, and I think defensively they can be okay. I would like the Carolina job. I really would, and I know you can say I think they're gonna be the coverage is gonna be bared in regards to the quarterback. I think everybody on that team is like a free agent or whatnot. But the attitude and the way that Wilkes came in there, I think it's some football players on there that still want to win. I think they just need some guidance. And the rest of them, I'm sitting there going like, nah, I don't think I would want those jobs. But the two jobs I probably would want definitely would be Carolina would be one, and I think Arizona would be number two for me. Because and if the Rams opens up, how could you not want that job? They got a beautiful stadium. They got everything set up. But we have to see how that goes. But I would say Arizona for me and Carolina.
Black?
Yeah, I agree with that order. I do. I think Carolina, if they can get a quarterback, I think they're ready to kind of make some noise. I think they should maintain who they have in there as an interim and keep it moving. And like I said, these guys are ready to play. But they play. They most of their games that they lost, they were close. They were in a lot of games. They also have a quarterback. What's the name? Like I said, he had 44 yards. Donald, 44 yards on Sunday, ended with 53. But I think they would have, they want to kind of just realize they're going to have to spend some time and kind of rebuild, work on that running game, get a quarterback. I think they can be right there, bro. I don't think they're that far off. Arizona, yeah, you got to, the day you take the job, sit that little MFer down and tell them this is what you're going to do. This is exactly what you ain't going to do nothing else different than it is. And if I got to bring your black ass in there to practice here and look at videotape here and here, that's what you're going to do. You tell them exactly. And tell the ownership the day they want to talk to you. This is what I'm going to do with them. If they don't like it, don't take the job. Because that guy can win some games for you, and that team is not that bad. But I remember when he walked off the sideline and told the coach to shut the F up, it's over right there, bro. It's over. When you can walk over and tell your coach and the microphones pick it up, and then you go to the press conference and the punk ass coach says, yeah, that's how no, that's not how he should be talking to you during the game or anytime. There's no respect for you at all, son. And if he's not respecting you, the leader of the team is not respecting you, the players don't respect, they're not going to play hard for you. So that team has a possibility. Even though Rams is LA is nice, I don't know if I would want that job right now. I don't know I would want it. I'm just saying based on, Stafford is not going to get a full season. I don't think Donald at this point realized they're not going to win. He's going to do one of two things. He's going to retire or he's going to play a half a season and sit out just like he did this last year with some injury. And, Ramsey is basically burnt toast. Just put a little jelly on him. So that team is not as deep or strong as we think they are, man. Other than being in LA, if you don't, you just want to be in the sunshine and, be part of, LA scene, that's great. But as far as the team, and think about it, they don't have any draft picks, man. I think like the next 3 to 5 years, that covered, and that's why the coach is leaving. That team's gonna be bad for a while, bro. A while, and a lot can be put on when that receiver come back. He only could do but so much,
Yeah. Let's move to college football, and I don't know. This game really disappointed me. I thought TCU would be, just running up and down the field. But Black, it seemed like Georgia was just too big and too strong for this team. And it was like, when you saw them out in the field, you're like, whoa, these guys are really huge. And I had a chance to listen to the audio of Coach Kirby giving them a pep talk before the game. I was ready to suit up and go play and be the hunter out there. But your eye test on the game this week, man.
When they asked him at the beginning of the game, I can't remember the sideline reporter asked him, what are you going? What did he say? We're going to go hunt.
Yeah,
he said we're going to go hunt. I was scared at that point for TCU. I was scared. I'm scared when he said that. And bro, when they got 21, I turned it off. I said, dude, you're not coming back on that defense. You're not, bro. But I mean, and TCU had a hell of a season. It's too bad they got embarrassed. And I remember checking the score, 40-something. I was like, it's like they wanted to punish them and embarrass them, so you don't deserve to be in the field with us, bro. And I know they want to go to 12 and want to go to 10. Last week we talked about the basketball expanding. You're going to see more of this, bro. When you expand the pie, expand the list, get ready for this. But and I'm not knocking TCU, but some of these teams can't handle this. We see it every single year. So when you go to 8, you go to 12, you're going to have a lot of teams that just going to get blown out for the money. And that's what you're going to get ready for. We're not going to get that competitiveness realistically. So to me, the week before, Ohio State and Michigan, those games were the championship game. This game, that was a disgrace, bro. I'm happy for Georgia. And Kirby's one hell of a coach. He's built something nice. And I'm going to say this, man. I saw some people talking. And to me, Alabama didn't make the top 4. Stop this Alabama talk. Alabama, what they did years ago, what they did. Georgia's kicking ass now. I don't hear nothing about Alabama, Nick Saban. Let them go suck on a popsicle, a chocolate for that matter. I'm tired of hearing about Alabama. They didn't make it. They should have lost more games. You got competitors over here. Don't forget about Alabama. Fuck Alabama. They didn't win this year. Why didn't they come out in the conversation? Stephen A.
Wow. This was the lowest viewership of any championship game since 1999. I think they pulled about 17 million. Maybe a lot of people kind of turned like I did. I turned away from it after the first quarter because I couldn't stand the carnage anymore. But your thoughts, man?
Yeah, that's pretty sad because I like TCU. I thought they did the best that they could coming up to that point. But I think it unveiled a lot of things. Georgia knew what happened the prior game. They knew they had to bring their best effort. I think they watched a lot of tape of TCU. One of the things TCU did on defense, a lot of people, I don't know if they talked about it because I didn't watch a lot of it myself, but they tipped their hand because they're so aggressive on defense. So you see certain times they come real fast and the middle of the field was wide open, which is why the tight end was killing them all day. You know, they were just doing different things. And Georgia quarterback sit back there and threw the ball and he ran like he was a great athlete and whatnot too. But they saw some weaknesses. And I think the big stage got to TCU a little bit too once they got behind. But they saw some weaknesses and they went after them. Like he says before, they were on the hunt. And they would not stop until they ravaged their opponents, and it was just crazy when you sit back and look at it. But I think it showed a lot because TCU did what they had to do to get there, right? And what I think was funny, and like I said, no ill feelings here because the Buckeyes gave a hell of an effort. They just came up short, but there's this running joke where they said they was heard on the sideline that. The Georgia defensive players, like I think the secondary says, they were asked were they worried about the TCU wide receivers, and somebody said, "Ain't no Marvin Harrison's over there."
They were eating chicken wings on the sideline during the game, man. The offensive line and stuff. I'm like, this is a joke. Wow.
But that's funny, man. That show you the respect right there or lack of. My man said, ain't no Marvin Harrison's over there, bro. We good.
I thought Black was on the sideline serving up them wings the way they were eating wings over there on the sideline during the game. How you do
that? That's a sign of ultimate respect, bro.
Hey.
Ultimate. I mean, like I said, it just seemed like for some reason they wanted to smash TCU's face in it and really say to me, what, you don't deserve to be here. I don't know if it was an SEC thing. I don't know what it was, bro. But it seemed like they just came out from point one to say, you know what? We're going to show you you're not in our league. You're not in our league. And sad enough, they're not. They had a hell of a year, good team. But there's something to be said about some of these SEC teams, bro. Something to be said, and that we see.
You know what though?
What's up?
You said about them wings. It's probably on the sideline. Somebody had a cell phone. Hey, Miss Janie, can we get 12 more to come and go? Barbecue, lemon pepper.
Extra spicy. Man, when I saw that, I'm like, man, this is really bad. I mean, this is really bad. And the SEC is the king of college football right now. I mean, until something changes, they're the king. And I was watching one of the commentators talk about the dominance of Georgia right next to Nick Saban, which was funny. And Nick Saban's face, like he swallowed swallowed a whistle.
I'm gonna tell you, man. I don't think we're gonna see Alabama be as strong anymore, bro. These NIL deals and all this going on, I just don't think they will be. I could be wrong. I said this earlier. I think Alabama has basically run its course. I'm not gonna say they're gonna be a bad team, but again, they should have lost more games this year than what that they lost, bro. Realistically, I mean, Tennessee. Let's look at Texas. What did Texas end up ranking? Should have took them down, bro. Ole Miss had them, couldn't do. I mean, it's a lot of games they basically, and that's not Alabama. Alabama basically coming and blow you out the water.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll have the Stallions anymore. I just don't think they're going to have all that talent. They basically everybody went to Alabama for one reason. For the most part, you knew what was going to happen. Once you went to Alabama, you showed off. You're going to the pros.
Yeah.
Now you go elsewhere to get paid and do the same thing.
Let's move on to college basketball, where we're past the halfway point. Houston finds their way back in the number one position again, followed by Kansas, who should have lost the other night, and it came close, followed by Purdue, Alabama, Tennessee at number 5, UConn at number 6, UCLA at number 7, followed by Gonzaga, Arizona, Texas. Kansas State jumps up 19 spots. They've been playing some great ball, and that's a team to watch out for. They're ranked number 11, followed by Xavier. Virginia beat North Carolina last night, followed by Iowa State, who jumps up 11 spots to the 14th spot. Arkansas, they're playing right now against Alabama. And you have Miami, the University of Miami at 16, followed by TCU, Wisconsin, Providence, Missouri at number 20. Auburn at number 21, Charleston, San Diego State, Duke falls 8 spots to 24, and Marquette moves 7 spots up to the top 25 at 25. I'm gonna go Ice first, and then followed by Black.
Please do. Bring it, Ice. Come on, baby. It's for the fans.
As he sips on his drink.
Let me tell you something, Tony's run. It's been very good so far. A lot of things are happening. Saw where Carolina had a major injury yesterday to their center when they lost to Virginia. Yeah. So, but Houston back up top. I'm scared for them. I would hope if I was a Houston fan, I would want Houston to be hanging around number 5, number 6. Because that number 1 carries a mighty goal where you to the point where you try to be the best and people are always swinging for you. Also, too, the factor that they struggle shooting free throws. That scares me to death about this team. So we'll see what happens. Kansas back number 2. I told y'all they're sneaking up, and here they go. Here they go. Told y'all Black Throw gonna pick them again. Anyway. You already know which way he's going anyway.
Where's the FBI when you need him?
Yeah, no doubt. Purdue lost to Rutgers, but they came back and they would beat Ohio State. Impressive there. Tennessee at 5. I like Tennessee. UCLA is creeping up at 7. Very interesting for me there. But I'm going to tell you something. Some good games coming up this week. Iowa State is at Kansas. Iowa State gave North Carolina all they wanted. I want to see them. Now, what is the young man's name? The shooter?
Caleb, I forget his last name.
Yeah. Man, he's a shooter. He's a player. Wisconsin versus Indiana as well. So Indiana, I told you, they think have one of their guards out, Bates, is hurt. But they got one of their big guys back. But Iowa defeated Indiana. And they were getting blown out early on. But I said to you guys earlier that Indiana needs some guards. They got a guard. I don't know how far they're going to go. This guy, his name is Jalen Hood Schifino. He's 6'6", out of Pittsburgh. Dude is electric. He comes to the rack. He's throwing no-look passes, dimes. He can shoot the rock, score. He's amazing. I just hope that he stays around long enough to kind of get everything together. But against Iowa, he dropped 33, bro. Yeah. Freshman out of Pittsburgh. He can go. So he's one of them old school guys too, where, you know, like when Magic used to play, when you come in the game, you see a dude, most people throw a nice dime. Like, okay, that's cool. This dude is like hitting dudes in the lane, catching the two, you know, putting it down. That lets you know he's a hell of a passer. I just hope Mike Woodson can keep him under wraps and really give him room to grow and mature. But a must-see talent, bro. Must-see. And they got some players on that team. He dropped 33. I think he had like 9 assists. Hell of a player. If they calm down, they could make some moves. Again, like I told y'all, watch out for that damn Rutgers. Rutgers is, man, they you know, Rutgers. And you said, too, Penn State's looking pretty good. One last team I'm going to throw this at you because I know Black Thor's listening. Do not sleep on. I'm not saying they're going to go to the tournament, but they can play spoiler the rest of this way of the regular season. Northwestern.
Yeah, they've been playing some ball here. They've been getting some noise here. Caleb Grill from Iowa State. Keep a lookout for him. He can shoot the lights out. Black, I know Kentucky's talking about getting rid of Calipari because Kentucky's not doing too well this season. So your eye test on college basketball.
I can see that happening, man, because when the last time he done really anything significant, when you look at it now, he's still getting them one and dones that want to come there and play. I don't see that happening. I want to pay a little more attention to Alabama. I think Houston, I'm not totally sure. You know, Kansas, but don't knock Kansas, man. You know, don't knock the hustle. You know, Bill Self did his time off from the sideline. You know, they're doing what they should be doing. I ain't mad at them. Still, again, when UConn's kind of creeping back up, you know, I'm not still feeling them. I think they make some noise, but I'm starting to focus a little more on Alabama, Purdue, see what's going on. I got to give it to you, Puma, what you said about North Carolina early on, and we kind of all, you know, gave you the business. You're right, man. That team is not, they're not basically up to par, and it was ranked too high. But the question might be, if they don't make some noise in the tournament, how much longer is Davis going to be around, bro?
Yeah, you'll hear them just like you hear the folks in Kentucky complaining about Davis because they give a short leash to coaches there in North Carolina. It'll probably take 2 or 3 years, but if he doesn't get it together or recruit some big time stars there in North Carolina to turn this thing around really quickly, because I think they've lost maybe 5 or 6 games this season. If they don't make the tournament, then look at them looking within the Carolina family to try to get another head coach. And you know, that's the way it happens in Carolina. They don't remember when Matt Doherty took over a coach, and that was like a train wreck. They were like, you thought it was like at the Apollo, them taking that hook and just yanking him out, and you don't see any record, pictures, anything of him, any kind of historical kind of artifacts of him coaching ever at Carolina, and that's the way they are down here. Any other thoughts? Because I'm looking forward to seeing a Tennessee-Kentucky game this Saturday to see if Kentucky kind of, you know, tries to weather the storm. Marquette and UConn, that should be a good game coming up. Matter of fact, tonight, they're playing tonight. Utah and UCLA. Gonzaga, they've been kind of creeping up, and they're not in the top 5 anymore, but Timmy's been playing really well. He's like putting the team on his back. And so they're going to be a dangerous team once the tournament starts. But if you haven't had a chance to watch Kansas State, they have this little guard there who, I don't care where he is on the court, he's firing up threes. And he's making them. He's making them. So I'm going to call Little Seth Curry. Any other thoughts, Ice, on college basketball, man?
Yeah, I'm going to give you this tip because despite the fact that, you know, how Black Thor is going to be looking, it don't matter right now, though, because I'm feeling pretty good. So I'm feeling legitimate. So I'm going to give it to you. I mentioned UCLA at number 7. As they get closer to the end of the season in the tournament, they have great guard play. They have 2 great guards that really kind of carry the team. And as we know, when you get in the tournament, you need guards. You need guys that can drop 35 at a time or at one point give you 10 assists, 7 rebounds. And their coach, I'm probably not the biggest fan of Mick Cronin, but he's like a little general where he has them like he's in their face and he hasn't really had attention and they are responding. That doesn't always work for a lot of people, but it's working for this team right now. And they just play hard. It's almost like they're underappreciated. They feel like they're underappreciated because they played USC last week, and USC's a pretty good team. And the coach was like all up on them, like, y'all giving them too much damn credit. And they played slow early on and they came on and got the victory. So that is a team, when you watch them, you're gonna go, okay, he had a lot of great talent a couple years ago. But this is the team that he's really coaching. It's almost like watching him coach old Cincinnati, right?
Yeah.
He's driving them like that, except they just happen to be, on the West Coast. But I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get off of it. It might be an editorial comment, but I know when they mentioned that they were going to the Big Ten, he was like, damn.
He's got a good thing out on the West Coast. Well, he has more talent than he had in Cincinnati, which, is keeping him in the top 25. Remember this name. His name is Marquise Noel, out of Harlem, New York, for Kansas State. He's 5'8". He's a senior at Kansas State. This little dude, I'm rooting for this little dude. I want to see him in the tournament, hit a three-pointer for a win. I'm rooting for, I root for the little dude. So that's my guy right there. When I was seeing him shoot, I'm like, is the coach is going to let him do? Oh, and he just kept shooting and shooting and shooting. I mean, right by the half-court line. I'm like, this dude is just shooting the lights out, and nobody could get on him. So that just cracked me up. Go to Black with the NBA report, man. Kevin Durant out for a month. What's Brooklyn going to do? I'm really excited to see what Brooklyn's going to do with him being out. Will Kyrie take over the show? They lack depth. So who do they bring off the bench? Because they're number 2 in the Eastern Conference, followed by Boston. Milwaukee's trying to get their man back. Philly, I don't know what Philly's going to do. It depends on Harden, and depending on Harden, you're not going to go anywhere. Followed by Cleveland, Indiana. New York steps up to the number 7 spot, followed by Miami. Of course, you have the Western Conference. You have Denver, Memphis, New Orleans, Dallas, Sacramento. You have the Clippers trying to play some ball, followed by Phoenix and Golden State stepping up to the number 8 spot.
Keep an eye on Golden State, man. Curry just came back. As long as they make it in, keep an eye on him, bro. I think I said this last week that when Curry was away, some of those other players had a chance to play and grow up. As well, it's going to be a matter of Kerr trusts them in key moments and big games as things start to wind down if they play. And I think if they play, they're going to have an impact. And if Curry realizes, when he came back this time, at least with that much points, 24 for him is not a lot. But I think if he realizes he got to basically allow them to get there some, that team is going to definitely make a run. I'm disappointed in the East, bro. I'm just disappointed. I know you said the Knicks make a 7. Knicks should be a 7. Not that good. It's just that the pot itself in the East is not that good, bro. Philly is in. They're out. They're moving around. Of course, Boston is basically doing their thing and dominating. But, Brooklyn, like you said, they're not deep, man. They had a nice little run. But do you expect Kyrie Irving to basically play a lot of games himself and don't get hurt? Let's be honest. So I think Kyrie basically, in some ways, after what happened with the tweet, decided I'm going to keep my mouth shut and go out and display. If he's staying that, I think they'll be okay. But I'm looking for them to basically drop from where they're at number 2, maybe bounce around to number 5, number 4, because KD brings a lot to that team, bro. So if you're going to miss him for a month this time of the year, that's going to hurt. That's definitely, and like you said, there's no one coming off the bench that's going to kind of help them out. And Miami, man, I don't even want to watch them, bro. I remember when the last time I can really focused on them, they was in a bubble. They don't even look like the same team anymore. So all the same players. Pat Riley's still there, but they just don't seem like, they're playing together, and I don't get it. So, yeah, to me, some of the teams in the West, the East, are disappointing. Milwaukee, once they get Middleton back, but, I said this to my son a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if Middleton's hungry anymore, bro. He's starting to look like another Kawhi Leonard. Like, he just basically, I got my ring, I got my contract, I'm good. And I don't see the hunger, the determination to be out there and want to play. And, you get comfortable sitting on that sideline, watching, joking, drinking in the sideline, bro, and getting paid. You may not want to move, man. The hardest thing to do is you take a vacation is to go back to work. One of the hardest things to do, bro. And I'm not sure he got that fire in him anymore. Maybe we have the fire in the belly.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting with the NBA ice. You got Trae Young. There are trade rumors because he's not getting along with the coach, and it seems like the team is backing the coach, questioning Trae Young's maturity. Even when you got the backup point guard, Trae Young missed a couple of games. They didn't miss a beat. Matter of fact, they played better without him. So you got that happening. We're coming towards the All-Star break. You have Brooklyn losing out. This is going to show whether or not Jacque Vaughn is that coach that they're really looking for. So your eye test on the NBA.
Yeah, well, we're gonna start with the East. You look at Boston. Boston's still doing what they do. They're not missing a beat. You mentioned about Philadelphia. Not really sure about that. Milwaukee will always be in the hunt just because even if they don't get Middleton to play the way they want him to, because the East is not really that strong. Indiana's young, and it may not be this year, but I think they're going to make some moves. I think people are sleeping on Cleveland. I've been saying that all year long. I think that they have the talent, and everybody thinks it's going to be about Mitchell scoring 75 points. No, they don't have to do that. I think when the time is right and it's time for the playoffs, you're going to really see them kind of make some moves. You spoke earlier about Brooklyn. I think the one thing that can help Brooklyn while Durant is out, it just depends on how the coach goes about it. Right now, they kind of have Simmons at the 4 or whatever, kind of, whatever, 4 and 5, still kind of run a little blase point. So you had Durant at the 3. Here's one name I'm going to throw at you, and it depends on what they want to do with him. He's capable. He's a little older now, but he still can put some points in the basket, and I'll put him in there right away. That's T.J. Warren. T.J. Warren used to be a scoring machine in Indiana. He's a good veteran, good guy coming in. He don't have to score the ball all the time, but he's more than resourceful. I think he's sitting there right there. However they need him to play, whatever they do. Is he going to take and be Kevin Durant? No way in heck. But can he be more than serviceable to kind of get them going? And he's the type of guy that, how Kyrie could be. So you don't have Kyrie pouting. You need some people that's going to put in work, falling down and jumping over bleachers and all that stuff. I think he can be that guy. And I'll be interested to see how Jacque Vaughn goes about it. He has done a great coaching job so far, but I hope he recognized. I've been watching T.J. Warren's averaging about 10 points a game right now. Just give him some more minutes and let him go to work. But he's been waiting to play on a team of a larger caliber on a higher level for a long time.